Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Tuesday, April the 3rd, and this is the market overview. Looking at the Dow, SPX, VIX, TNAU, UP, FXE, GLD, XOY, XLF, CompQ, Apple, and GE. Okay, well, I was out all day, so I'm kind of out of the loop news-wise. So, this is just going to be a fun naked reading on the charts. Starting off with the Dow. How about that? Almost 65 points to the downside, and something interesting I'm noticing has happened, which was yesterday the intraday time frame looked bearish, and the daily time frame looked bullish, and today the daily time frame looks more bearish, but the intraday time frame now looks bullish. So kind of a swap, perfect swap in between the two. I just find that a little bit funny. Anyways, we ended today with a fat body hammer, or fat body hanging man, depending on what you think is this is a top or bottom, or if you're a bull or if you're a bear. And we were talking about this previous peak needing to get above it, and that it had peaked above it, but needs to close above it for the bulls to really succeed. And yeah, it fell away from it today. Had a nice rally by the end of the day, but nonetheless, just staying in this range. Not too much to see until it really either breaks that top or goes in for a test of the floor and breaks that. We had a downtick today. It was resolved intraday, which means we now have to see what it's going to do from this point. That's how that works. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Stochastics up. CCI down, RSI down. MACD histogram down, and the MACD down as well. We didn't know if we were going to get a bullish cross or not. It was really close, and now it's having a second thought about that. So overall, pretty mixed, but still half down and half up, and we're doing the bubble corrective move, wait and see for further movement. Yeah, there's just not much to see here. 60-minute time frame. Yeah, we had that fall off essentially all day long with a bump up there at the end. 14-day going sideways at the end. But look at this. CCI, stochastics, RSI, histogram, and MACD all turning over at the end of the day. This is that intraday strength turning bullish, whereas the dailies were becoming slightly more bearish. So interesting, just a total flip-flop of what the charts say, which is kind of interesting. SPX, and this one, we had made a new recent high, but have not closed at a recent high. We closed right at this resistance level, and today just fell away from it, rallying by the end of the day. No, there's not a downtick, but had there been, it would have been resolved intraday. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Stochastics attempting to tick up. The fast is, the slow is barely. Down on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the MACD histogram, down on the MACD itself, and rejecting the idea of a bullish cross there, which was very, very close. 60-minute time frame, same thing as the Dow. 14-day clicking up, not clicking sideways like the Dow. Stochastics turning around, CCI turning around, RSI turning around, histogram ticking up, MACD ticking sideways at the end of the day. So intraday time frame showing strength, showing that a bounce here in the intraday time frame very, very likely. So what I'll be watching for is if it's able to go up and break this high and close above it. That's what's important. And a lot of people are going to be looking at this and say, oh, here's a low, higher low, higher low. So the dipper's coming in now and trying for a new high. It's very likely. Comp Q, the NASDAQ. Not anywhere near as weak as the Dow and SPX, ending with somewhere between a hanging man hammer and a spinning top. You can see the stochastics joining the 14-day RSI moving average, which is ticking up. Slide up on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the MACD histogram, and down on the MACD, trying to break away from the target line and get a bearish cross or finish it. Hasn't done it yet. It's not clear. 60-minute time frame. Now this looks very similar to down SPX. This is kind of interesting in that we were talking about that head and shoulders on SPX the other day, and it was broken. This one actually looks much more like the way a head and shoulders top should be. Which is not to say that it is. I mean, if everything is swinging around and it's going to go for it in another attempt at the highs, it's one right after the other. If it breaks both of those, wow, that's going to be very strong. But if it were to fall apart at this point, you could have a like a diagonal neckline, which actually, maybe I should just do it. There it is. Which is really ugly. It's not attractive line, but we do have very definitive touches here. So anyway, something to be sort of looking at. The VIX. Oof, look at this. I have almost a perfect gravestone doji, but there was a little bit of a stub. It closed right at the major price consensus level. If it breaks that, that's not a good sign. Once again, going up to kiss the long-term moving average bar and just falling away from it. That is super resistance right here at the 16.5 area and just above. Actually, all of this above. Very interesting. That level it's at right now, very important. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down, stochastics going sideways, up on the CCI, down on the RSI, up on the MACD, up on the MACD histogram. It would appear that it should have at least a little bit more strength, but it is very mixed, so very difficult to gauge that. And having it fall away so much during the day is not really a good sign. XOI oil, after such a strong day on Tuesday, we had that uptick. It was resolved intraday. It was time to see what it was going to do next. It decided to fall away, ending with a hammer, fat body hammer. 14-day RSI moving average is still ticking down, just like it was yesterday. Although the stochastics are definitely moving up, CCI down, RSI sideways, MACD histogram up, and MACD itself down. Wow, what a mixed bag that is. I wish there was something more to say from that, but I guess the only thing would be possible low, higher low. But conversely, you could also say that this is the bounce. You have the low here. It really is being lower than that, in which case the down move would break this and go for a test of the 200-day moving average. But it is still early. These are still way too mixed to say one way or the other. All that we can say is we need another day, and hopefully we'll have a better read. TNA. Very nice spinning top, getting a downtick, resolving the downtick intraday. We have to see what happens next. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up, stochastic still going sideways, slightly down on the CCI, up on the RSI, down on the MACD histogram, and sideways on the MACD. Actually a small downtick, really just going sideways. No bearish cross, no bullish cross. So waiting game. 60-minute time frame on TNA, very similar to the Dow and SPX, and there isn't really an area for this to do a head and shoulders. This amount of room is just so tiny. For it to go up there, hit that on the head at like 66, and then fall apart, that's very difficult. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Fast stochastic trying to turn around, slow still going down, up on the CCI, up on the RSI, sideways on the MACD histogram, and down on the MACD. Mixed picture in the intraday time period, but if these are going to turn around right here, then yes, there should be another test of either this previous high or this previous high. XLF, the financials, ending with a hanging man today, getting a slight downtick. The downtick was resolved intraday. How about that? And still above the major price consensus level, actually almost kissing it and then backing away. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Stochastics totally mixed. Down on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the MACD, down on the MACD histogram. Mostly this is encouraging, but once again, we don't have complete confluence of all of the indicators. So that, along with the resolved downtick today, means we need to see what happens tomorrow. Sorry. Moving on to GE. Try to get a better read on the Dow. Look at this. This is crazy. We had a doji star. We had another doji star. We have almost a doji star today. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Stochastics down. CCI down. RSI down. MACD down. MACD histogram down. Looks like we're getting a bearish cross, but these are getting bought. 60-minute time frame on GE. Yep, just like everything else, up on the CCI, up on the stochastics, up on the RSI, up on the MACD histogram, up on the MACD, and slightly down on the 14-day RSI moving average. There should be some sort of a bounce. And is that going to be enough to affect the daily? It depends on how much the dipper is going to come in, and if they just drop the ball and fumble and it just falls apart. So, I hate to say it, we need another day. Apple. This is incredible. Look at that. Almost closing at 630. Absolutely insane. Getting above the upper Bollinger Band. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Stochastics still trying to turn around. They are mixed. Up on the CCI, down on the RSI, up on the MACD, up on the MACD histogram. Just amazing. And making a new all-time high. Very bullish. Can this drag the entire market with it? It's a factor. But getting outside the upper Bollinger Band, it should go down or to the side to get back inside of it, because pushing it up at this moment, at this level, with this candle, kind of iffy to me. So, and moving on to GLD. Ooh, wow. I hadn't taken a look at this. Massively terrible. Bearish engulfing. Down on the stochastics, the CCI, the RSI, the histogram, MACD, no bearish cross yet. Slightly up on the 14-day RSI moving average. Breaking through the major price consensus level for this new month. And holding just above the lower price consensus just by a hair. And of course peeking through it. Terrible. Wow. It's actually real surprising. I mean, UUP was up slightly. The VIX was up slightly. That should have been a push-pull, and instead somebody just dumped. SLV, red but nothing like gold. Inside day of redness, that is bearish. Slightly up on the 14-day RSI moving average, up on the stochastics, down on the CCI, up on the RSI. Wow, that's really hard to tell. Slightly up on the MACD histogram and up on the MACD. Very interesting. Very different than gold, which is very unusual. And the VIX, VXX. It is bullish engulfing. We do have a slight uptick. Uptick gives us a target just above $18. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. Stochastics to the side. Up on the CCI, down on the RSI. Up on the MACD histogram, up on the MACD, looking for a bullish cross. But overall, not too compelling. We need another day. It's just as simple as that. So on the road, unable to analyze all of the NDEs that I'm sure were out today, but tomorrow I'll be around and that won't be a problem. As always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video are for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you.